morning, guys. So, the ice storm hit. I was glad when they canceled school because the storm hit about 1 a.m. And the thunder and the lightning and the hail and the rain and the winds kept me up almost all night. My husband and I were having coffee this morning. We were talking about how we would wake up and we'd look to see if there were still lights on in the house. Is the electricity still on? Is everything still working? So, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. So, our house, the previous owners, okay, so I don't exactly know how it goes. Who built what, when it was built, and who they built it for. So, the guy across the street grew up in the house. And then somehow they sold it to somebody, and I don't know why Brad didn't buy it. After they sold it, the people divided it, and their daughter lived in our house, and her parents put a modular home on the side. Oh, I gotta dismiss that. I have an alarm going. They built a house there. And so there was 40 acres, then 40 acres, and then 40 acres. So they had 120. So the parents sold the 40 acres to their daughter and her husband. And then when her daughter got back from getting trained to be a horse trainer, they parceled off this 7 acres here, built the arena and on 7 acres. So anyway, through the whole spiel, that house over there, the one we live in, those people, they ended up putting a pond in. Well, when they put the pond in, they backed up the natural drainage for the water and the snow. So every spring, and only in the spring, we get a ton of water that goes into the basement. Otherwise, it's bone dry, except for in the spring. And it started to cause structural issues. So instead of whatever they had to do, or getting rid of the pond, they put a hole in the wall below the freezing level that goes into a sump pump and then pumps it back out further away from the house. So last spring, we timed it and we were getting like 16 gallons per minute into the basement. It's a lot of water. And so this fall, we had a plumbing company that we always use. They're Cardinal Plumbing. If you're up in the UP near Sault Ste. Marie, they're awesome. But they came out and installed new pipes and a new sump pump, because what had happened was the old sump pump, it has like the toilet plunger that goes up. What would get caught, it would vibrate and it would get caught underneath the piping that goes out of the house, and then the plunger couldn't go up and then it would stop. It wouldn't turn the sump pump on. So we will see how that works, because the first 2 springs we were here, this is our 3rd spring, we couldn't go anywhere. So we've learned to sleep very light when the electricity goes out, because there were times we would sit downstairs or set an alarm for every 15 minutes to go down and check on the sump pump to make sure it was working. Because it's 16 gallons a minute. And then I had a thought, I'm like, so how full would the water get? Would it stop going into the basement when it reached where the water hole to come into the basement is? Or would it fill the basement up to just completely fill it till it's running out the back door? I mean, I don't know. Again, that's my why, what if mind goes, what would happen? Why did you do that? But I don't want to find out. Theoretically, I'd like to know. In reality, I have no desire to have that entire basement flood, because that would ruin the hot water heater, it would ruin the furnace, it would ruin everything we have down there, it would ruin our water pump. It's a disaster. That would be a disaster. So So we will be watching to make sure that this sump pump works. And of course they ran water through it to make sure it worked. We went and bought a pump, but it wasn't powerful enough to get up the steepness to get the water up the stairs. So it couldn't, we didn't have enough power behind it. The joys of living where there's too much water sometimes. Which is way better than not having any water. Right, Adam? So I was super happy this morning because I got up at 5 anyway. I finally fell asleep around 4 when the thunder stopped. I normally get up at 4:30 and I slept till my alarm went off at 5. Got up, had some coffee. Just as I was getting ready to go outside, I got the email and the text that the schools were closed. So I was like, oh, thank God. Because I didn't want to come out in the dark because I didn't know how slippery it was going to be. So the hail froze under the ice. So it's like walking on our deck. It's got texture to it. It's like walking on ice sandpaper because there's all the hail and then the ice froze on top of it, so it's all bumpy. Poor Mr. Squeakers had a hard time, and I tried to put food out for the birds, but the wind just blew it, which was okay because with the wind blowing it, the ice is on top of the snow, so, you know, we were supposed to get up to 40. I think it's already starting to defrost. I tried to see if I could knock some of the ice off the branches, and all that did was break them. So, no. It's going to have to melt and then come on. But I checked my trees. The apple trees look good. There's some river willows alongside the barn that don't look good. They've got broken branches. I think there's some evergreens branches that broke, but I don't see any major branches or structural damage done to any of the house or these buildings. I didn't go to the other side and look at the barn on the other side, so I'll go over there. There's no trees by there, so it would only be wind damage. Right, Autumn? Are you enjoying your corn this morning? You want to eat some more? Are you done? Are you done, my love? My beautiful girl. My sweet girl. My sweet Autumn. You are never going anywhere. Yes. You will forever be my goat. Yes. You're just as sweet as can be. I love you. I just love you. I love you so much. Does that feel good? It does. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That must feel really good. Does that feel good? Want me to use both hands to get that? Or does that feel good? Or does that feel good? Huh? You can't really scratch right in there, can you? Is it itchy because you're losing your winter coat? Oh, does that feel good? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh yeah. Let me get to where you want me to scratch you. Yeah. Yes, my little beauty queen. You ready to go see your bratty kids? Bring some grain out there. Put some more hay. All right, Mama. Come on, let's go. Let's go take some corn. I'll give you a couple more apple treats because I love you so much. Come on. I'll be right back with the other one. see his head walking past you. Hey Clyde, would you like some corn? Your girlfriend might. Where's Bonnie? Why are you not hanging out with your real girlfriend, huh? Why are you not with your real girlfriend, Clyde? Your comb looks good. Looks like his comb, he should have a really, like, very pointy comb. But when I got him, he had been outside a lot. And he had some frostbite on the very tips of his comb. So it's all healed up at this point. It's all healed. It doesn't look like he lost any toes, did you? But his comb is all, it looks nice. If he walks by really tall, you'll see him. Because he's right in front of the camera now. And what are you doing over there, mister? Autumn, or Summer? How's my girl? How's my Summer girl? Yeah, so hopefully the power company just finished trimming the trees Monday. So that's good. They chopped down. And I don't know why people let tall trees grow under power lines. And some people even plant them there. And I guess they're not paying attention. I suppose, though, if you've just started getting trees, you might not pay attention to that kind of stuff. I've noticed, though, that the wind, the really cold wind seems to blow, believe it or not, from the east. And so I think as I watch the weather patterns, because we live between Lake Huron and Lake Superior with the St. Mary's River and Lake Michigan. So we're in the eastern UP Peninsula and there's Superior, Huron, Michigan. So we kind of get this swirling effect, and I think that that's why the wind seems to come from the east, the cold, blowy wind. But if you go further inland, like towards the middle of the peninsula, all the trees are flagged from the west to the east. So their primary wind comes from the west. It's hard to tell here because we get swirling winds, believe it or not. And we don't have a lot of flagging the closer you get towards the Huron Lake, St. Mary's River part of the peninsula. So the upper peninsula is a peninsula, but it's got an eastern side, a southern side. So it's definitely different. On the west border, it borders Wisconsin. On the north, it's Lake Superior in Canada. On the east, it's Lake Huron, the St. Mary's River. And on the south, it's Lake Michigan. So we really are surrounded. Well, you guys are loud. What are you doing over there making all that noise? It's up on my clean desk, probably pooping on it because I cleaned it. You may not make a nest up there and lay eggs. I don't know why. Any flat spot. Like I have a big dog crate out there that I put for when I got Clyde, I had to separate him. I had to isolate him in case he was sick or had any parasites. So it's the large dog kennels that you could put like a St. Bernard in or something. And I've used it for hauling geese and chickens and turkeys and baby goats, and there's just all sorts of reasons you can use it. So I hope you can hear me over the chickens. Just having their breakfast constitutional, just discussing all sorts of stuff. The events of the world. We won't even talk about what's going on right now in the world because it's just too messed up. It makes me mad. It makes me upset. It makes me sad. It disgusts me in ways that, hey, don't do that. Are you out of food? I do not appreciate you doing that. That's bad. That's bad, Billy. I don't have any more corn. I gave you all the corn. That's all you got. So you're just going to have to be a good goat. Can I sit here and do it this way? Is that possible? Can you let me do it this way? I don't know how long my hand's going to want to do it this way. What are you doing, chickens? Weirdos. It's just me moving around. It's okay. Where are you going? Get down. Only that normal sound you just heard Clyde make is his I'm not happy sound. What? I highly doubt we'll have my husband come in here and interrupt us today. He's not going to get up and get out. Clyde. The other chicken that's in here does not have a name. She's just one of the meat birds that we kept, the hens, for trying to hatch. I tell you what though, so the little chick that was hurt by the weasel is still alive. It's hanging in there. Each day it seems to get a little bit better as long as it gets to stay warm. It starts to scream when it gets cold. The other two are mean to it. They're little ferocious things. And that is one thing about the naked necks. They are definitely, they're almost more of a feral chicken. Not that they're not friendly and won't be nice and are mean, but they are definitely a chicken that is like, oh, we're going to chase that mouse down and kill it. They're much more for foraging. They are definitely, like you put your hand in there, they'll run over and peck you. Some breeds are just not as docile as others. Clyde. 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 Yes, I'm talking smack about your breed. Yes. Because you are. You're a little on the fast side. You said he didn't like me talking bad about his breed. Clyde. Really? Really? So noisy. Would you guys like some milk? Are you done? You want to be done, Summer? Would you like your apple treats? Yes, you would. Oh my. Were you a good girl? Mostly. You weren't perfect, but no one is. Now who's going to eat that? What are you doing? Goats are really picky with their scent. They drop something on the floor, they're not going to eat it. They don't care if it's their favorite food at all. Now Pip has learned that she likes the apple treats, but you have to be careful because she'll bite your finger. Yeah. And her sister just figured it out because I shoved one in her mouth and then she chewed on it and then she was like, wait a minute, what is that? Here, I'll get that. Here, let me get that for you. Let me get that for you. I'll scratch that for you. Want me to scratch you like I was scratching your sissy? She was very excited to have all the scratching going on, yeah. What about you? Does that feel good? Can I take your collar off for a while? I don't like it when you have a collar on all the time. It makes me nervous because you could get it caught. I don't have halters on my horses either. I was in high school and I'd been at a 4-H horse event and the 4-H leader told us about how her favorite horse, she had a nylon halter on it. It got caught on something and the horse broke its neck and died. And how she had said she never does leather. Matter of fact, the nylon halters I have are breakaway collars. So what the, when we lived in Washington, we could take it to the Western shop, and the guy who ran it also did leather work, and so he would cut this stuff, and then he would put a leather section in, like here where it connects to the latch, so that the leather will break before it kills your animal. So, yeah, I would be upset. And you already have. She's got a mark around her neck where she had that rope caught around her neck from the feed bag. So we don't have feed bags in there anymore. No. No, we said that's it. That's it. That's it. You really like this, huh? You're just going to stand here and let me scratch it? Really? Right next to the phone. Well, if you weren't awake watching this, you are now. Hide. Really? Don't poop on my jacket. I just set it there and you guys snuck in. Alright, let's go. I got things to do. I got milk to separate.